and I began to develop the mind of Christ. I began to grow up in the things of God and learn how to be an adult and not that little wounded child. Things that had become my survival skills growing up had become self-destructive in adult relationships. I had to learn that people don't like being controlled. I mean, I liked it. I liked controlling you. Because all my world was safe and secure. But you rebelled against that. People don't like being controlled. People don't like being beat down with my mouth. I had to learn those things. I had to learn that aggression did not have to be my only weapon. This is a workshop that is going to teach you, give you some tools and teach you how to work out your salvation. The word salvation also means deliverance. Deliverance from soul wounds that have caused us much pain in our adult life, our adolescent life. So as we work out our own salvation, we begin to relate to each other as God would have us relate to you. I love Sister Pat Holmes. I've known her 25 years. We vacation together. I'm fixing to take another one. And I don't like everything she does. She doesn't like everything I do. She doesn't have to be the kind of person that I need her to be for us to be in relationship. This is hard for you to believe too, but I don't like my son all the time. We had a minimal confrontation last night because he and my other grandson and my son-in-law did something that I challenged them on. And I sent him a text and I said, I don't like the way you left something out. I want you to take care of that, blah, 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 blah. He said, well, Mom, it's not my responsibility. Yes, it is. You deal with it, period. He texted me back and said, okay. He comes to my house today, I hug him, I love him, everything's cool. Because I know how to handle things when I get offended. I know how to handle, he knows how to receive correction without rejection. That's a big one. How many times do we feel rejected from an old soul wound because someone's bringing correction to us? I love my mother. She's passed away last year. This past May was a year ago. But my mother wasn't a good mother. She was the best she could be. She left me emotionally when I was 6 years old. She left me physically when I was 9 years old. She had soul wounds that she didn't know what to do with. I had to learn to love my mother unconditionally. I had to learn as I became a Christian and began to love God more than I loved my own needs. That I was able to love my mother where she was at. My wonderful nephews here, my sons here, they know this is the truth. My mother was comfortable at my house. She's got 5 children. She didn't go anywhere else but to my house for holidays, for special occasions. Because I had learned to love her where she was. I had learned to accept her as a human being and not this little girl that needed her to still mother her and take care of her and nurture her. I had let the washing of the Holy Ghost fill and heal those things, those soul wounds that were in me. I wasn't a drug addict. I said that. I wasn't an alcoholic. But I was a people pleaser. I was willing to do anything you needed me to do that I wouldn't feel rejected. Rejection is a core wound that everybody is going to have as we grow up. You cannot not be rejected. You're either going to be rejected as a young child, by society, because of the color of your skin, because of the color of your hair, because of the color of your eyes, because you're too fat, you're too thin, because you're too tall, you're too short. I've got grandsons that are 6'7", that we're having to teach them. Your height is not your identity. The devil has stolen your identity. I remember a woman saying about my daughter, she said, I would hate for my little girl to grow up and be 6 foot tall, 200 pounds.
Wow.
Well, that's so shallow as to the identity that my daughter is in Christ. Her identity is not in her 6 foot height or her 200 pound frame. Nor is your identity in yours.
That's right. That's it.
I'm going to put my glasses on. This is getting me excited. I have 7 or 8 pages of notes, so I'm trying not to skip around, but the Holy Ghost just taking me. John 5 talks about the man at the pool of Bethesda. You'll probably know the story. There was this poor old guy that was laying by the pool of Bethesda. All he had to do was roll over into the pool when the angel stirred the water, and he would receive his healing. You know what his loser's limp was? You know why he never got healed? Jesus asked him a profound question. Do you want to be made whole? There's our will. There's our will. We can live our life with the loser's limp. I have nobody to help me. Nobody's going to help me. Or we can step into our own responsibility and begin to work out our own salvation. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. The devil had stolen this man's identity. He was helpless, hopeless, and he stayed stuck for over 30 years. Many of you are stuck in drama and chaos and confusion that's driven by fear. Fear. We spend our lives as human doings instead of human beings. If I do this, if I do that, if I do this, I'm dealing with myself on that because I'm a people person. My daughter and I are blessed with the ministry that started at Church of New Beginnings with Sister Carolyn Edwards back there. It was called Jewels in Christ. And Sister Pat and Benny asked me to take it over 5 years ago. And when I left that church, I took it with me. And it's Jewels for Christ. And it's a wonderful women's ministry. I've got cards. I want you to get one. Because we talk about life. We talk about real stuff. These are women that are not perfect. These are women that have learned to overcome. They've learned what I'm telling you today, or learning what I'm telling you today. So how do we find our true identity? I was talking to a young woman a few weeks ago, and that's what I do. This is my passion. I tell these women that come into this ministry, that come under me, you've got to go back and look at the triggers. It's not okay for Vicki to tell me she can't come over to my house and help me with the yard sale, and me get in her face and say, you don't care about me. What's the matter? Look at what all I've done for you. You don't even understand how important this is for me. That's a child's response.